Hello. Hello. Peter. Good afternoon.
Hello, Doc.
Oh, I'm checking my audio. Was that's Vika?
Yes.
You can hear me. All right. Thank you. Okay, my audio is working. 12:59. Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's 8.
Oh, 8 participants.
Just give like one more minute, I guess. There's a lot of better AIs.
Yeah, we can get started. They'll catch up as we come in.
All right. So, good evening, everyone. Um, for those who don't know me, my name is Linda Ondicho. So, I'm excited to welcome you again to today's session. And for for a note, this class is brought to you through a partnership between ALX and Actuate Biomedicine. So far we've already had 3 amazing classes, and today marks our 4th and final class. And in this class, we shall be learning about advanced DeFi, which is decentralized finance concepts, and it shall be presented by none other than Frida Butali. And so as Frida presents, feel free to add your questions in the chat box, and she will make time to address them during the session or after her presentation. So after the presentation also, you are welcome to ask questions either through the chat box or by unmuting and asking any questions that you need clarifications on. And when all the questions are answered, we shall be having closing remarks by our CEO, Dr. Macharia, who will share with us his wealth of experience in blockchain and decentralized finances. So I would also like to mention, this is very important. Before we wrap up, I'll be sending a feedback form in the chat. So please take a moment to fill it out. And as this feedback form will be reviewed by ALX, and they will be able to determine if these classes will be incorporated in their future learning programs. So this feedback form is also to help you in the future and in the long run. So please make sure to fill up that form. And I will mention this, and I'll mention this also after the class. Since this is our final class, we shall be having, we are also having an academy where we are having these courses from a basic level to intermediate to advanced level 1 and advanced level 2, all at a fee. And for the beginners course, we shall be having a discounted price for all of you, which will be 3K, that is 3,000 Kenyan shillings for the entire course for the beginners only. That is a one-time discounted offer. So if you are interested in joining the academy as well, it shall be in the form. The link shall be in the form as well. So please make sure to fill that out. Yeah. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Frida to present us with today's topic.
Okay, thank you very much, Linda. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session, the blockchain basics and decentralized finance. And today we'll be covering another topic, and thank you very much for being consistent and being here for the 3 weeks. And so just before we begin, I think for those who are here, you can just go ahead and type in the chat, and please remind me what we discussed in our session last Wednesday. So just go ahead and type in what you got from last Wednesday's session as I set up my device. So you're very welcome to type in the chat. Okay, so I can see no responses, so I'll just remind you what we discussed last time. So last time we discussed about centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges, and we looked at the difference between a centralized exchange and a decentralized exchange. And we gave some examples of centralized exchanges, and a centralized exchange which we did an example with was Binance. Yes, and I showed you how to buy tokens from Binance and transferring them to your wallet. And I also showed you how to trade or to buy tokens on a decentralized exchange, of which we used an example of a decentralized exchange we used was PancakeSwap. And so today we're going to commence from where we left off last time. Yeah, so last time I bought some tokens from Binance and I transferred them to my wallet. And we said that from our previous classes, we said we'll be using multi-coin wallets, and this one of the wallets is MetaMask and the other one is Trust Wallet. So for me, I have been using MetaMask to store my private keys. Yes, and so as you can see as it's opening, as you can see here, I now have a balance in my wallet because I bought tokens from Binance. Yes, I hope you all can see my screen. And so we bought some BNB from Binance and then transferred them to my MetaMask wallet. And I hope we all got that. And today we're going to focus on decentralized exchanges, and I'm going to show you how to create a liquidity pool. Yeah, so on my screen here, you can see that I am on PancakeSwap, and PancakeSwap, as I've said, is a decentralized exchange. And how you get to PancakeSwap is that you just go to your browser, your Chrome browser, and type in PancakeSwap. And the first link that appears, just click on that and it will take you to this pancakeswap.finance. Yes, and one thing to note in decentralized exchanges, we said that they do not create for you a wallet. And that's one difference that we discussed last time between decentralized exchanges and centralized exchanges. Yes, for centralized exchanges, they create for you a wallet. So you'll get a Binance wallet, you'll get maybe a centralized exchange like an OKX wallet. But for decentralized exchanges like PancakeSwap, you have to connect your wallet. So you have to connect your Trust or MetaMask wallet to PancakeSwap. Yeah, and how you do that is that, let me just disconnect, and then you'll see And all these features are available on your phone. It's exactly the same thing, even if you're using your phone. Yes, so to connect your wallet, just click on this button here at the very top. So that's the first step to interacting with a decentralized exchange. Connect your wallet. So it will ask you which wallet you want to connect. And for me, because I'm using MetaMask, I'm going to click on MetaMask. Or if I'm using Trust Wallet, I would have clicked on Trust Wallet. So we click on MetaMask. And another thing to note is that you need to enable your pop-ups. So if you don't enable your pop-ups on your browser, you won't be able to uh, uh, perform this or to connect your wallet to your to the decentralized exchange. So I'm going to click here, and it's just as simple as that. Now you will be able to view your balances or even buy tokens, trade tokens on decentralized exchange on PancakeSwap. Yeah, so for you to, as today we said, you're going to create a liquidity pool, and a liquidity pool uh, is a feature provided by decentralized exchange such that anybody can be able to provide liquidity. Yes, and this liquidity is what it can earn you fees, and it's what enables us to buy or to swap between tokens. So in my wallet here, we saw that I have some BNBs. So first thing, in order for you to swap tokens, you need to have one other token. Yeah. So swapping just means exchanging one token for another. And so since I have BNBs, I'm going to swap BNBs. And another thing to note is that depending on which blockchain you're using, you also need to have gas fees. Yeah, so gas fees are just like transaction. They charge you transaction fees. And for the Binance blockchain, they use BNBs, so you'll need some BNBs for your transactions. So let's go ahead and swap tokens. And so I can swap whichever token I want. And previously I said that uh, different tokens have contract addresses. And if you can't find your token in this list of tokens here, you can just go ahead and go to an explorer. Or if for our case, we took an example with the Actuate token, which is displayed on the actuate.bio website, and we went there and let me just take you back, Actuate bio. Yeah, so for us to, as I said, different tokens have different contract addresses, and these contract addresses are what identifies tokens. And for our token, we said we're going to use an example with the Actuate token. All you had to do is go to the Actuate bio website and click on one of these buttons here for BSC scan if you're using the Binance Chain blockchain, or for if you're using Ethereum blockchain, you can just click on this Etherscan button here. But for today, let's use the Binance blockchain. So we clicked on this button here, and it took us to BSC scan. So this BSC scan, we said it displays the transactions that happen in the Binance chain blockchain. Yeah, so whatever is bought, whatever is sent, if you send some tokens to a wallet, all of that is recorded here. You'll be able to view the transactions using this Explorer, which is provided by Binance Chain. So, and also you'll be able to get the token information from the same Explorer. So here we said, just click on the buttons and then it will take you, you'll be able to see the token contract here. So this is the contract address. And so we copy that and then go back to PancakeSwap. Yeah, so you see here, it says that search by name or paste address. It wants you to paste the address of the token, the contract address of the token. So just paste that, and then it displays. For our case, we've copied the Actuate contract address, which displays ACT, and we click on that. And so if I want to buy, let's say, 2 Actuate tokens, I just click on here on 2, type in 2 in the text box, and then it automatically calculates the amount of BNB I'll need to buy the Actuate tokens, and then click on that button, get started. And so it tells me swap between BNB to Actuate tokens, and then click on swap. And so confirm that that is the price that you want to buy with. Then click here, swap anyway. Click on OK, and then it will trigger the wallet. It will trigger the wallet to open so that I can sign the transaction. Yeah, so when it comes to blockchain and interacting with these apps or these platforms, you'll need to sign your transaction. So you'll always have to go to your wallet to sign transactions. So click on confirm. Yeah, you can see there. And yeah, just swapping tokens is as simple as that. And we've said liquidity pools. For you to create a liquidity pool, you need 2 tokens. So in this case, we'll need BNBs and another token, which is the Actuate token. And so just a minute. Yeah, so let me close that. So the transaction has gone through, and you can see the balance. Let me go back. When you go back to MetaMask, we'll see that our balance has changed. Yeah, so it has marked my transaction is complete. So I'm going to close that button. And so it prompts me to add the token, since previously I did not have Actuate token in my wallet. So I just click here, add token. Let me cancel that. Yeah, so if you've not added a custom token to your wallet, it will prompt you to add your token. So let me cancel, and then you can just add it manually. I think it's good practice. Yeah, it's already added. Yeah. So you can see my wallet now. We have Actuate token. We have 3 Actuate tokens since last time we swapped 1 token. So in total, we have 3 Actuate tokens in my wallet and a few BNBs. And so we're going to go back to PancakeSwap, and we'll go to yeah, so this is the next step to creating a liquidity pool. So we go to farms liquidity. And that will take you to yeah, it will take you to this page, and you'll see this button here which says add liquidity. So for you to create a liquidity pool, just click on this button here. And so it will take you to it will direct you to this other page. And so here we have at the top here, this is where we're going to begin choosing a token pair. As I said, we need 2 tokens to create liquidity pool. So we need to match two pairs. The first, I'm going to click, you can just leave it as BNB, or let's just do ACT. And then BNB. So that's our token pair. We're going to pair Actuate tokens with BNBs. And then next, what we're going to do next is select the fee tier. As a liquidity provider, when it comes to decentralized exchanges, you earn a certain fee for trades that happen. So if people swap between Actuate token to BNB and vice versa, you earn a certain percentage of that transaction. And as you've seen, as we've made that swap, we've been charged a transaction fee. So that fee is what goes to the liquidity provider. So if I am the person providing the liquidity, I get a certain percentage of that transaction, depending on how big my pool size is. Yeah. And also depending on the fee tier that I have selected. So this fee tier basically means what it means is that for every transaction that happens, I want the person swapping to be charged 0.01% of that transaction, or maybe even 0.05% of that transaction that is happening. Yeah, so that's basically what the fee tier means. So for not to make so that your liquidity pool is selected for trades, yeah, you don't set your fee tier to be too high. Yeah, you don't set it to be too high such that you're selecting 0.25 or 1%. Yeah, or you don't want it to be too low such that you're maybe not making enough profits. Yeah, so I'd recommend 0.05, but even if you want, you can just select whichever fee tier you want. But I'm going to select 0.5. And then next, we're going to look at the price range. Yeah, so the price range, it protects you from impermanent loss. Yeah, so impermanent loss occurs when maybe let's say, Actuate token, it's the price of the Actuate token goes below the set amount of price maybe you wanted to trade. Yes, see, right now we've bought Actuate token for, let's say we bought it for about one Actuate token for $1. Yeah, and then maybe the Actuate token goes below $1. The price of Actuate goes below that $1, and let's say it costs maybe $0.5. Yeah, so you see, if people trade and buy that Actuate token at $0.5, you'll get a loss. Yeah, so that price range, it protects you from that. So if I select 5% here, it means that the Actuate, my Actuate will be bought at 5% above the current price or 5% below the current price. Yes. And if I do 10%, it just means the same thing, 10% above and 10% below the current price of Actuate. But if I select full range, yeah, so full range means that it can be bought at any price, including zero. Yeah, so if Actuate maybe goes up to maybe $0, it will not be able to, full range will not, if you select full range, you will go and make a loss if the Actuate token maybe goes to zero. Yeah, so you want to select the price range maybe between 5% to 20%, or let's say 10%. Yeah. And so next, we're going to look at, let's look at the deposit amount. Let's select one. Yeah, for decentralized exchanges, unlike centralized exchanges, it enables you to provide liquidity without having a large amount of tokens or capital. So you can just You can just do even one Actuate token or even 0.0 something BNBs to create liquidity, to become a liquidity provider. Yeah, so I'm going to enable my Actuate tokens. And as I told you, for when it comes to interacting with these platforms, you need to sign your transactions, confirm. So yeah, says the spender is Pancake. And then this is a request from pancakeswap.finance. It shows me the network fee and the speed. So I'm just going to click on confirm. And that allows me, it allows this PancakeSwap to be able to spend the money or the Actuate tokens that I have in my wallet. So let me close the extension and then click on add. Yeah, so it's just as simple as that. Dismiss. Let me try that again. Yeah, so just a minute. Yeah, let's try this with another token. So let me go back to swap and let's try this with some, let's say, what cake tokens. And you see here as I'm swapping, it says that it's searching for the best price. That means it's going through liquidity pools that have been created in PancakeSwap, and it looks at whichever offers the best price and then it gives it to you. And so let me confirm swap. And then again, it prompts me to go to MetaMask and confirm my transaction. Just a minute. So yeah, so the process is the same when creating a liquidity pool with whichever token you want to create with. Yeah. And I hope we're together up to there. If you have any questions, you can just go ahead and ask them in the chat. So let me add the token to my wallet. Execute. And when it comes to MetaMask, I think if let's say you bought a token and it has not yet appeared, or it will ask you to, yeah, it always prompts you to add a token. Yeah, so you can see here I have my cake token here and the BNBs. So let's go back to creating a liquidity pool, and then we'll create a pool with those tokens. So we go back to farm stroke liquidity. And then click on add liquidity. And then we choose a token pair. And so we've said the token pair depends on which tokens you have on your wallet. So I'm going to click on that. And then we select the fee tier. For this one, a lot of people did 0.25, so let's go with that. And then next, the price range, we can do 10%. Now you can see here it displays 278 and 341. So that's the price depending on the current price, which is 308. And then we look at the deposit amount. So we can do maybe 25% of the tokens we have in our wallet. Yeah, so you can do that and then click here, enable. And so I'm going to sign this transaction, and I've said enabling your tokens just means that you're giving PancakeSwap the right to spend the tokens that you have in your wallet. So I'm going to click on confirm. And so yes, the transaction has happened. Yeah. And if you'll notice, every time I do a transaction, it gives me this pop-up here, view on BSC scan. As I've said, BSC scan is what records any transaction that is happening on the Binance blockchain. Yeah, so I'm going to click here on add. And then it's going to, this just confirm that the details are provided are correct. Then I'm going to click on add. And then I'm going to sign that transaction in my wallet. Yeah, so you can see here, it says the network fee and the speed. So for every transaction you make, you need gas fees. These are what we are calling gas fees. Yeah, so I'm going to click on here, confirm. So it says I'll send that amount of cake and that amount of BNBs, and then I'm going to click on confirm. And yeah, you can see here it says again, my transaction has been submitted. And if you want to see that transaction that has happened, you can just click here on view on BSC scan and you'll see that transaction. It says 20 seconds ago. Yeah, I created that liquidity pool. So creating a liquidity pool is that simple. And maybe if you want to view that pool that you've created on PancakeSwap, I'm going to go, let's go back. And you can look at the history of pools that you have in this. We're going to here, my positions, in just a minute as it loads. And then we'll be able to see the pool that we've just created. Yeah, you can see here the pool that I've just created right now. X stroke BNB, and then it says the position is that it's active, and then let me just click here. Yeah, and this is our pool. You can see we selected, and this hash here is what identifies, this hash is what you are calling is what is called the NFT number. And this NFT number is specific to your pool. So you'll not get a pool that has the same NFT number. It identifies your pool. And so here we have the fee tier that we selected for this pool, which was 0.25%. And you can see the liquidity that we provided here. So we did 0.4 cake and the amount of BNB that we used. And here are the unclaimed fees. So if people use my pool to maybe buy some cake or some B&B, the fees will collect here. Yeah, so these are the unclaimed fees. So as your pool, as people interact with your pool, these unclaimed fees are what, let's call it profits you're getting from creating that pool. Yeah, and when it's enough, you can just click here on collect and the fees will go to your wallet. So that's it. And down here, we can see the price range that we set. Yeah, 278 and 341, and the current price was 306. And yeah, so basically that's what a liquidity pool is. So if you have any questions, you can just go ahead and ask. Yeah, and I think that's it for today. So, okay, I can see Annette has some question. So when your token earns, is it automatically added to your wallet? So if I talk you back to that liquidity pool that we have, let me, okay. Okay, let me share again my screen. And so when that fee collects on your pool, yeah, it will stay in the PancakeSwap platform. And what you need to do is just click here on collect and then it will be transferred to your wallet. Yeah, so if I had some fees, you see, it says collecting fees will withdraw currently fees available to you. So just click on collect and then it will come and ask you in your wallet. So it will take you to a wallet and then you can collect your fees there. So let me just cancel that since we don't have any fees to collect. So it's just as simple as that. Okay. And so, so considering we're choosing the fee, how does it work in the system? Do the people making the transaction choose what fee will apply to them? And so for PancakeSwap, as we've seen when we are trading tokens or when we are swapping between, when we swapped between BNB and Actuate, and also when I swapped between BNB and Cake, the system chooses the lowest or the best price for the person swapping the tokens, yes? So that's why I told you when you're creating your pool, you don't want to set the fees too high or maybe set your fees too low. What you can just do is choose the fees that for your liquidity pool, you choose like the fee tier that most people have chosen. So because then on your pool will be selected, there is a high probability that your pool will be selected. Yeah, so when you choose too high over fees, when the system goes and looks through the best fees for the person swapping the tokens, yeah, it will not choose it will not choose that liquidity pool. Yeah, so I hope that answers the question. Yes, actually you can withdraw the tokens. I see you're asking, can you withdraw the tokens available for liquidity? Yes. So if you maybe want to withdraw tokens that you have already provided liquidity with, let me just show you. Let me just quickly show you. You can just do that. Just go back to your pool. I hope you can see my screen. Go back to that liquidity pool. Yeah, let me take you back. So when you go to my positions and then scroll down and look at active, click that pool. Yeah, and as you can see here, it says add and remove. So you can add more tokens to your liquidity pool, or you can just choose to remove the whole liquidity. It will just remove this whole liquidity pool. Yeah, so you can add more, whichever token you want to add here. your tokens. If you have bought more tokens and they're in your wallet, you want to add them to your liquidity pool, just click on add and then scroll down and then let's say I want to add 0.0001 BNBs. Yeah, you see it tells me to increase, so it will increase the number of tokens that I have in my pool. Or if maybe I want to remove this liquidity entirely, so it will ask me the amount of liquidity. If I want to remove maybe 25% of the tokens I had in my liquidity pool, I can just click here. Or if I want to remove all of my tokens from that liquidity pool, click on max, and then it gives me what it will do. It will withdraw all the collected fees, all the fees that you've earned from that liquidity pool. So you see here, I have earned zero, so it will just give me $0, and then it will take my cake and my BNB, and it will take it back to my wallet. Yeah, so when I click remove, it will go back to my wallet. Yeah, so you can be able to do that also. Yeah, so yeah, so is this feature available on other platforms we went through? So this feature is only available in decentralized exchanges like Uniswap. Yeah, this feature is only available in decentralized exchanges like Uniswap. So for Binance, Binance we said is a centralized exchange, and I think I showed you how to withdraw your tokens from Binance. And for Binance, you cannot create liquidity pools. Yeah, so that's the difference between a centralized and decentralized exchange. For Binance, you cannot create liquidity pools. And Trust and MetaMask are wallets. Yeah, so they help you see your tokens in the blockchain. So they do not store your tokens, they help you interact with platforms like PancakeSwap. Yeah, so I hope that I can't see any other questions, so I hope that answers it. So I'm going to give this opportunity to Dr. Masharia if you have anything to add.
All right, thank you so much, Frida. Now, confirm you can hear me. Is my audio okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, good. Thank you so much, Frida. Thank you so much, everybody. Annette, thank you for your questions. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you today, I'm not even hiding to you, you have learned the most powerful technology of the age. So you really want to understand that the most powerful technology. Why is it powerful? Because the most powerful technology for your economic freedom. What Frida has shown you is what investment bankers do every day. Investment bankers, that is their full-time job. They wake up in the morning, they go to work, they do just that, what Frida has shown you, and they make a hell lot of money. Now, that they have been doing in this secret location, let's call them the temple of high finance. That's where it happens. It doesn't even happen anywhere like even Nairobi Stock Exchange. It happens somewhere like New York Stock Exchange, even London. So imagine the London Stock Exchange in your pocket, and now you're in charge, and you are the investment banker. Now, the procedure that Frida has shown you is known as market making. Market making. So that traditionally, market making has been the domains of the chosen few, you know, the ones who think that they're the only ones who can get into the holy of holy, just like the old temples. The Solomon temple had, three places where there was the outer court, the inner court, and the innermost court, which is the holy of holy. In that inner holy of holies, only one person could get in there, the high priest, because it was supposed to be the holiest place. And you only got there once a year to do, to perform the ordinances. Now, this is how it is today in the centralized finance. only the high priest of finance are allowed to get into that inner sanctum, the holy of holies of finance, to perform these, we should call them ordinances. The ordinances are exactly what you've seen Frida doing. If Frida can do it, you can do it. So there's nothing stopping you, sitting between you and the inner sanctum of high finance. And that has been made possible by the decentralized finance platform. Now, this is what you want to understand. There are two types of exchanges. One type is centralized exchange, which is what we talked about last week. Exchange like Binance. Binance itself is centralized. So the work of market making does not depend upon you. You don't contribute anything to make market in Binance. It has got its owners. But in the decentralized finance, everybody in the world can participate in making market. And how do you make market? Let's go through the steps again. Step one, first of all, obtain the tokens. The tokens we are talking about here in this case is Actuate token. And you can obtain those tokens either from Frida herself, by calling Frida, say, I want Actuate token. Can you send them to me, a whole bunch of them, so I can create liquidity? But then the Actuate token has to be paired with another token, which is the BNB token, if you're going to be on Binance chain, or if you're doing it on the Ethereum chain, such as place like Uniswap, then you need ETH, Etherswap. But then you can make a pair of tokens with either BNB, USDT, Bitcoin, that's BTC, any kind of tokens that you can have. But the way you make liquidity happens when you pair one token with another. Just like what Frida has shown you. Take Actuate token, and then you tie Actuate token with a BNB token. When the two tokens get together, then you supply liquidity. That is all there is. Like it's tying two tokens together. Like it is almost like a marriage. When you have a man gets together with a woman, and then they make a baby. Basically, that's how it is. And so finance is about exchange of token. Like if you look at the foreign exchange markets, people are exchanging either Kenya shilling against US dollar. So what this process does, when you pair your BNB with Actuate token becomes automatically liquid. As simple as that. But that required a technology that Frida has demonstrated to you. Right now, what Frida has shown you is how PancakeSwap works. PancakeSwap. That PancakeSwap is available in your own phone because it's inside your wallet, inside MetaMask. You're able to call PancakeSwap.finance. So, and then you have the freedom to set the fee that you want to get paid. So when you supply supposing you have a whole bunch of tokens, like you can get like 1,000 Actuate tokens, or even 10,000, and then you get equivalent amount of BNB. Then you pair them up. Then you supply liquidity. People are, for every transaction that happens in that PancakeSwap, you'll be earning some money. Now that's how the bankers earn money. The investment bankers earn money from the transaction fees. So you earn the transaction, you earn a fee from every transaction that occurs in that. Now, if you are the largest supplier of the token, that you have the largest percentage, then you'll be taking home the largest amount of fees. Mm-hmm. That's what becomes very interesting. So if you have money to supply liquidity, you'll be earning money passively. You earn passive income. You earn passive income. You don't have to work. All you have to do is supply liquidity in that simple process, and then it will be earning fees for you. And so the next question is that how much fees you receive is determined by how much money you set. Now, the person who is swapping, if I'm swapping, the algorithm, let's say the system, selects the lowest fee. So if there are some people setting very low fees, they are the ones who are going to be collecting fees on a continuous basis. So it's very important to understand, particularly when you are setting up, just set fees in the middle. Yeah, because fee tiers. And that way you are likely to be earning fees on a continuous basis. And this is what now is called investment. Now this is possible for everybody. You don't have to be a billionaire to participate in this. You can participate with as little as 100 shillings, 1,000 shillings, 10,000 shillings, that way. And so these are very, very important things to know. And that's why it's the most powerful technology of the age. So it is important that you practice and practice until you perfect it, because this is the last lesson on this 4-week, let's say, four sessions course. But we have another much more detailed course, which now that's the paid course that Linda was talking about, the blockchain basics. It's about 8 weeks. That now you get a lot of time to practice. But that one is a paid course, and that's what we are talking about. I think every one of you should sign up for that full course so you get the full detail and the full benefits to completely understand how this works, because it's a very, very powerful. And of course, here we have learned about wallets, exchanges, and we have learned about liquidity pools. Now, liquidity pools, very powerful. And then besides earning fees in the liquidity pool, there are so many other things that you can do with the liquidity pool, or when you have created liquidity, because you can lend against the pool tokens, or you can even borrow more. But these are more advanced ways of making use of your liquidity so that you can make money. But the most important lesson today is that you have gained access to the inner sanctum of finance, of high finance, all by yourself. It's in your phone. And to make this work, you want to make sure everybody in your network knows about it, because the power of the network depends on the number of people participating in the network. You see, the power of the network is directly proportional to the square of participants in the network, such that if you have a liquidity pool with one person, it is of no good. But if you have a liquidity pool created by 4 people, the power of that liquidity pool is 4 squared, that is 16. What if you had a liquidity pool with 100 people? The power for that liquidity pool is 100 squared, which is what? 10,000. See that? Amplified. What do you have a liquidity pool with 10,000 people? That is how many? It's maybe 100 million. So it is the power of any network is the number of people participating in the network squared. If you know that. Now that is called Moore's law. And what you want to do is take advantage of that. If you learn about how to create a liquidity pool, do not keep this knowledge to yourself. It is of much greater value that you teach everybody you know how to get Actuate tokens, number 1, and number 2 is how to create a liquidity pool. So obtain BNB and create a liquidity pool, because the more, the merrier. That's what we say. So we're going to send you a video with video step by step on how to do exactly what Frida has shown. Frida created that video anyway, so that you have it. It's a short video, it's about 8 minutes, that can help you with your visions and practice. So what we would like to do is that by the end of this week, which is now only 2 days to go, you have created your own liquidity pool of as much money as you want. And I think this is how it can work very well. Okay? Everyone who is here, by the end of this week, by Friday, create a liquidity pool. Okay, and go through the process. Watch the video clearly, and of course, follow the direction you received today. Create a liquidity pool, and then send to Linda Becker or Dicho, your NFT number. Like, if you don't know what your NFT number, because Frida is going to show, she just demonstrates to you what is your NFT number. Your NFT number is your identity. Because once you create a liquidity pool, that liquidity pool gets an identity or an ID card. That ID is the NFT number. NFT means non-fungible token. So every liquidity pool creates a non-fungible token. And that non-fungible token is a certificate of having created a liquidity pool. So for you to say, I have proudly graduated from this 4-week session, I have created a liquidity pool, and here is my NFT number. See that? Then we can, when you're issuing certificate, then you will have that NFT number on that certificate, and you can say that. But you won't give you a certificate if you don't create the NFT number. So the important thing is to do the practice all the way so that you can make very good use of the knowledge that you've received today. I don't want to talk much more about this so that you don't get overloaded, but watch the video. It's about 8 minutes. Practice, create liquidity pool, set an NFT number. And in fact, when you create the liquidity pool, as you've seen, you can add more liquidity by, say, add or supply liquidity to the pool. So you keep on building up, and keep on building. Okay. I hope that is clear. And please ask if you have any questions.
Maybe you can go ahead and answer this one. Can we mine Actuate tokens?
No, mining Actuate token when mining occurs if when the tokens, say for example, in talk a proof of stake POS, that's what got mining. So we have not created such a strategy, but I think we're going to be doing it. But in the beginning, right now, we can do the liquidity pools and earning fees. So the closest we can get to the mining is earning the fees. Okay. Because mining is particularly a POS proof of stake. Now that's more advanced, and that's what we're going to be talking about in the advanced classes. Proof of stake is you buy a lot of Actuate token, and then that means you provide stake. And when stake means that mining is a validation mechanism for validating transactions. So if you're participating in a staking pool, then you are going to be earning fees from the staking pool, or from the proof of stake itself. Yeah. So that is for people who in layer 1 blockchains. And I think we are going to get to that spot where people can now for us to create staking, you have to buy lots of Actuate tokens. So for example, in Ethereum, the mining process, if you want to mine ETH, you have to participate by buying 32 ETH. Now that 32 ETH comes to quite a bit of money. Now, and of course, if you have people who are ready to invest that kind of money, yeah, we could begin the mining process. But we have not first of all encountered investors who are willing to invest like $100,000 because 32 is multiplied by say $4,000. That comes to maybe about what, almost 15,000. No, 150,000 investment dollars. So these are expensive procedures. So the entry point for participation for everybody is to participate in liquidity pools because it's highly accessible, and you can begin with as little as 100 shillings. But the point at which we are getting people who can put 1,000 $100,000. Then we shall create mining procedures using the proof of stake. Yeah, because that means they're staking their action. Like you buy so much Actuate, then we use that stake to validate transactions. That makes sense.
Okay, we don't have any other questions, so thank you very much, Dr. Masharia, for your inputs, and thank you everyone for your questions. Yeah, as you heard, we've come to the end of the session for the blockchain basics class. So we've learned about wallets, we've learned about smart contracts, we've learned about liquidity pools, exchanges, about tokens. So now you have the basic knowledge about blockchain and decentralized finance. And there's a lot more to blockchain. Yeah, so as you've heard, we have courses that we're providing more further knowledge on real world applications on blockchain, and we also show you how to create your own smart contracts. Yeah, or if you want to build your own project on the blockchain, you'll be able to get all that knowledge on the Actuate Academy. So Linda will share that with you. And as we've come to the end of our session today, so I'm going to share the form. So make sure you fill the form before you leave. So this will provide us with feedback on what to improve.
Hey Frida, you have that video on step-by-step steps
Yes,
for
yes,
people.
I've shared it to the chat. If you can just go to the chat and you'll see the link I've shared there. That's the step-by-step how to create a liquidity pool. Yeah, and in that and how I've shared that shows you the instruction using the phone. But if you also want, let me just share the link to our channel. So these sessions are recorded, so you can just go back and check again how to create a liquidity pool. So thank you very much, everyone. And
before you close, I have a question.
okay.
I saw on the email that the classes are 10% off. 90%. Was it 90?
90%, yeah. 90%, because this class is traditionally we charge about $250, almost 30,000 shillings. But because you're great people, we decided to give you a very big discount at the request of quite a number of people. So that we can actually onboard as many people as possible. Instead of paying 30,000 shillings, you pay 3,000 shillings. Now, that's a lot for me. That's a great win for you. I feel some pain, but you should feel happy. Who was that asking the question? My name is Mashari, by the way.
Annette. So as soon as we pay, we can get access to the classes, or when do they begin? I don't think I saw information on that exactly.
We can begin the classes next week. We want to, Annette, if you can help us mobilize people as many, if you can get about 20, 30 people, then we can get started. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you do that? You mobilize as many friends so that we can get started. We can get started as early as next Wednesday. So we have continuity.
Okay.
Oh. And you see, they're all 90% off, and that's a very big deal because wow, it's a lot of work. You see, Frida has to do, myself, Linda, everybody, but we're not complaining. We want this knowledge to be on the side of the people.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
All right. Do we have any other questions? If you have any other questions, you can just go ahead and unmute and ask them.
One point. Linda will give you instruction of how to pay, send money. You know what would be fascinating? Is if you send that money in form of USDT. Is it possible? Yeah, but you don't want to make it complicated. USDT, that's the first step of learning how to work with the blockchain. Go and get USDT, from the peer-to-peer market, like Frida was showing you last week. But it's not possible. That's not a requirement. But it would be very, very nice to send money in form of USDT instead of M-Pesa. But M-Pesa is also good for us. But USDT is good for you because it's a learning experience. How about that? USDT is a stable coin, by the way. Stable coin. USDT means it's equivalent to $1. So the US dollar tether is tethered. It's a token on Ethereum that is tethered to the dollar. So it has the same amount of value as a dollar. And so it doesn't fluctuate like say BNB. Yeah. So in any case, M-Pesa is sufficient. So Linda will guide you how to do that. Thank you, Annette. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think that's it for today. If there are no other further questions, you can just go ahead and fill the form. And thank you very much for attending our sessions. And we hope to see you in the advanced and intermediate blockchain classes. So have a great night. Let's see you next week.
Good night, everybody. See you next week. And we discuss more. We just go deep down into the decentralized